What is up, guys? My name is Garrett at Yogurt on Twitter, YOOGRRTT. Welcome back to the Now Notation YouTube channel. Welcome. Hey, how's it going? Big 14, you know what the fuck going on. If you are just now tuning in, I do album reviews, and this so happens to be one of them. In particular, Trippie Redd's debut official album, Life's a Trip. It's kind of just like a compilation of Big 14 tracks. But it's also kind of just a compilation of a lot of stuff we've heard. It's the streaming debut for songs like Uka Uka and, fucking... We've heard Missing My Idols freestyled like 60,000 times by him every chance that he got. So to finally hear a beat behind that is kind of good. But I feel like a lot of snippets and just various leaks have existed for this whole album, so my excitement level was definitely on the low side, mainly because 6ix9ine's been burying this guy as far as like social media presence. He pops up and he just gets trolled like he's in the fucking losing stands. Like if you click on like an academics post, dude, you'll see like people doing like L rankings, and like, damn, Trippie's been in those L rankings for like 2+ months now, and while those don't mean shit, it is still the people talking and the people reacting to that, you know what I mean? So there's something to his like falling off as far as like the people being on his side, and I do think he is just kind of petty by nature as a person. So his way of like handling beef when he's maybe on the losing side isn't the best, and sometimes falters his character a little bit and makes it like kind of corny, I guess, in a way. But who am I to fucking talk about that? We're talking about the album, and let me tell you that whatever I was expecting, whatever I was thinking, this is almost the exact opposite, and for better, 100,010%. To get into the track listing real quick, I'll pull that up for y'all. Track number 1 is Together. Track number 2 is Taking a Walk. Track number 3 is Wish by Diplo featuring Trippie Redd. On iTunes, it's called like Wish, the Trippie Mix or something, featuring Diplo or whatever. Missing My Idols is track number 4. Track number 5 is Forever Ever, featuring Reese LaFleur and Young Thug. Track number 6 is Bird Shit. Track number 7 is Bang. Track number 8 is How You Feel. Track number 9 is Dark Knight Dummo featuring Travis Scott. Track number 10 is Uka Uka. Track number 11 is Shake It Up. Track number 12 is Oomp's Revenge. Track number 13 is Core. Track number 14 is Fly Zone. And one of the things that I find the most interesting and impressive about Trippie Redd, especially when he started coming out, is his like really just punk rock sound. And it's kind of like a grunge sound as well, and it's the most we've kind of heard hip-hop going that way. I guess Peep kind of went there, and there's other like SoundCloud artists, but as far as like taking it to the mainstream, and Trippie Redd is in the mainstream conversation, especially after Wish with Diplo and whatnot, and a few other features. Travis Scott, that's a big one. It just feels like he had a very consistent sound that was his own in a lot of ways. It was expanded upon from people like Travis Scott, kind of blending like the trailblazing that road. But Trippie kind of went off and made his own little like connection or junction from that fucking mainline road that these other artists have proven. And he just went full grunge, full punk rock, and really leaned into it and did it with like a flair that you know Trippie Redd's voice when you hear it. I mean, and that's a good thing to have when you're an artist, especially. But it seemed to kind of get stale and watered down just by like the absolute occurrence and just oversaturation, it felt like, for a little bit. So again, that's kind of where my negativity for this shit came from. But let me tell you, I'm probably going to be listening to this more than Astroworld. I just really like it. It's just came together really well. Some of the singles were Dark Knight Dummo, Uka Uka, Wish, and Together. I think that's all of them. Maybe Oomp's Revenge was out, but actually no, Oomp's Revenge was not out, but all those tracks are fire. Wish is actually like a very impressive song. If he wrote that, like, you can't argue that the artistic drive and just solidarity that fucking Trippie Redd has. There's no two ways around that, especially if that's all him and Diplo jumped in just on the production side and mixing side. And this new mix that's on there, the drums seem to be louder. I don't think it loops the chorus again at the end, so it seems like it's just a little bit more clean cut. So this will probably be my version of Wish that I go to. Other standout tracks though are How You Feel, Bang, Gore, Oomp's Revenge, Shake It Up's really good. Those ones are just, that's what I like. I don't like him being over the top. I don't like him being too much. But when you use just the right amount of Trippie Redd, like it can make a beautiful song. And he did that a couple different times on here. And he does bring across good messages as far as like him dealing with Spotlight, him coming up, him dealing with fakeness, him feeling like alone. And, you know, he is kind of, if you walked into a Kmart, I mean, he'd stick out like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like it must be like a very particular lifestyle that you must live, like is Trippie Redd, just based on how it is. And you know, maybe there's some trials and tribulations that come to this artist who is just from, you know, Ohio. It's not really like the biggest fucking state in the world, and I don't really know what's going on too much, but Big 14, that's what's going on. And yeah, like I don't really have much else to really bleed into this thing. I just think that the important message is that this thing's really good and that it's solid as fuck. And Trippie's been arguing, like, when people had pressed him about numbers for this album, as well as just like asking the question of how he thinks it's gonna do, where it's gonna sit, and like, does he feel like he's falling off? Is this thing like gonna fail? And all he thinks about is just like, his biggest point, I think, that like stuck with me is just like the idea of longevity. And if this thing, I think this is just gonna stand up as a very solid album to go back to. And I could see a lot of these songs standing up over time, so, and holding up over time is a better term. But yeah, that's exciting just from a lot of different standpoints, but particularly it's exciting for the future of Trippie Redd, as far as like him actually having a career and not just falling off after his first album, which a lot of people called out. And I do not think this will happen, and that's exciting and more than I could ever ask for. And to have it actually be a good album is really cool too. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this album. What are your favorite tracks outside of these singles that we have been oversaturated with? Yeah, and I think this thing's fantastic. I don't know where it's going to line up as far as like my favorite albums of the year, but it's definitely in the conversation now. The more I'm going to listen to it, the more it's going to stand out, and the more it's just going to hit me right in the motherfucking face. Did it do the same to you? Let me know again. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Yoker on Twitter, YOOGRRTT. I said Twitter twice, but you know, I'm brainwashed. And yeah, thank you. That's all, folks.